Gypsy Rose was recently released from prison and within days is defending her husband while talking about the nights and long days they've had. And now that she's out of jail, she has her life to live out. So what is gonna happen now that she's finally been released? One thing's for sure, and that is that she's able to make the bedrock. Whoa, not that type of bedrock, but the one she has actually been open about since her release. In fact, behind bars is when she married her husband Ryan Anderson in 2022. And they met after he wrote a letter to Gypsy when he watched the 2017 HBO documentary about her life. And since her husband has now been in the spotlight as well, he's also been getting quite a lot of hate because of what people have to say what he looks like, especially because they've been comparing him to Gypsy's mom Dee Dee and how he gives them a bad vibe. But Gypsy was not gonna let the public disrespect her man. Oh no. She took it to Instagram to comment to tell him that she loves him and the haters don't matter. But she also included some extra detail that we definitely didn't ask for. The last part of her comment read, "Because they're jealous you are rocking my world every night. Yeah, I said it. The D is fire. Happy wife, happy life." I cannot believe she said that because her comment shocked me and a ton of people on social media became viral because of this one comment. And did you see people talking about her comment? Because I personally couldn't escape it. I mean, my entire TikTok was filled with Gypsy Rose edits, plus of course her comment with her husband. She has also become an influencer overnight.
Hi sisters!
No, not that type of influencer, but instead she's been using her platforms like Instagram and TikTok. And as of right now, she has over 6.4 million Instagram followers and is even verified. In her first post since her release from the Chillicothe Correctional Center on December 28th, she took a mirror selfie with the caption reading, "First selfie of freedom." Look at her smiling, posing, and already has a pink iPhone. It's clear she is happy to be freed. Plus, she has been active on her social media accounts, spreading her new life out of bars, and of course, sharing pictures of her and her husband Ryan. And in a pre-release interview, she told people that she hopes to build a social media following to change the future for others. She said, "I feel like I've been blessed with that ability to possibly create change, and that is what I'm gonna try to do." And her Instagram bio reads, "Advocating awareness about Munchausen syndrome by proxy." With some self-reflection, Gypsy has even shared how she realized what she did with her mom wasn't the right choice, so her mission now is to do what she did with her mom and make it worth something, and she wants to spread as much awareness about Munchausen syndrome by proxy and focus into mental health. Honestly, good for her because some influencers go straight on to OnlyFans the day they turn 18, and Gypsy on the other hand has been trying to advocate awareness since her release. One of the procedures her mother Dee Dee convinced doctors she had was excessive drooling. She would actually apply a gel that causes more saliva to form in the mouth on Gypsy's gums before her doctor's appointments so she could complain to them about that issue. Have you ever woken up from a nap and realized you drool a bit? What? I'm just asking for a friend. But unfortunately, Dee Dee's plan worked and Gypsy had both of her saliva glands removed. She even talked about how painful this procedure was, especially because she didn't have a good reaction with the anesthesia. But that's not all, because she has been suffering from long-lasting effects from this procedure as her mouth has been always dry and she constantly needs to clear her throat. In an interview with Dr. Phil, while she was still behind bars, you could hear her frequently clearing her throat. And with all that medication her mom would give her, she actually doesn't suffer from any long-lasting effects from that, which is definitely a good thing. But one health concern she actually has is poor vision and a lazy eye, compared to her mom's crazy claims of her having cancer and other health conditions, and was even able to convince doctors that Gypsy needed a feeding tube. And now that she's been released, a 6-part Lifetime docuseries that premieres on January 5th, which means it's out by the time you're watching this, so hello future viewers. Well, she actually participates in the series as she hopes to dissect everything that's happened to her and be able to tell her whole story and in her own words. And if you're wondering why it's taking so long for her to share her side in detail, Gypsy said it's because she's emotionally ready now to process her past. And there are actually a lot of things she wants to unpack in her life that has to do with other things more than just her mother. But at the time, everything was surrounded about her and her mom. She even admitted that while talking in the docuseries, she felt emotions she didn't quite expect. And if docuseries aren't your style, she is set to release her own book on January 9th that is titled Released. Okay, go get that bag, Gypsy. Many have also invited her onto their podcast, which included internet personality Trisha Paytas, so maybe in 2024 will be the year she becomes a YouTuber as well. Life is hard enough on its own. I get lost and confused every single day, but I couldn't imagine re-entering society after spending years behind bars because that's a lot of adjustment that needs to be done. Paparazzi captured a video of her while she was shopping, and let's take a look.
It was good.
Got these new shoes.
They look great.
Aw, she sounds so happy about her new shoes. I wonder if she's a Crocs girly then. But then she can add those little charms on it, and I'm actually curious to know what type of shoes she bought. Maybe Uggs, Nike, fluffy slippers, endless choices. Anyways, while shopping, the paparazzi made sure to ask a very important question.
Do you have any plans?
Lots of them? I'm shocked. And it's crazy because one of the first things she did since being released was getting McDonald's in a drive-thru and even talking about how she wants to meet Taylor Swift. Yeah, Gypsy herself is a Swiftie. That's a win. Her father would actually purchase her albums while she was still locked up, including her re-released albums, and shared how her music helped her get through her time behind bars. Alexa, play Fearless, Gypsy's version. Plus, the first week she was free, she attempted to meet Taylor herself by going to a Kansas City Chiefs game to hopefully run into the star. But due to Gypsy's growing celebrity status, local law enforcement officials thought she would be a security risk, ordered her out of Missouri. What a misery. Sorry, I apologize for that one, I just had to. As soon as Gypsy was released, her family welcomed her home with open arms as they held a welcome home party for her. Some attendees included her dad Rod, stepsister Christy, and her stepsister Mia. They shared photos on social media of them enjoying cake in a room decorated with gold balloons, spelling welcome home, confetti, and how can you have a party without a bottle of bubbly? Both Gypsy and her husband were photographed popping the bottle and enjoying her time with their family. And because her dad Rod separated from Dee Dee before Gypsy was even born, they didn't spend that much time together as Dee Dee would claim things about their daughter's health, and he even maintained a close relationship with her during her early years. But as she got older, the two became estranged as Dee Dee controlled many aspects of their daughter's life, and Rod himself told Fox News that she took a lot of time making sure there was distance between them. And when he would ask to speak to his daughter on the phone, Dee Dee would tell him that she was not available to talk to him. According to the Blanchards' neighbors, Dee Dee would badmouth Rod and label him with things that weren't true. So now that she's able to reconnect with her family, she's also able to rebuild the relationship she had with her father. And now that is not the only thing, because a TikTok user by the name @JessWesley made a video about the 2024 predictions, which included Gypsy herself as a model for Skims, which if you don't know is Kim Kardashian's shapewear line. And Jess made a follow-up TikTok showing a screenshot that Kim herself actually liked the TikTok, but it was on her joint account with her daughter North, and because they liked the prediction, Jess said herself that it would match Kim's values and passions such as justice reform. And because of this, many fans are ecstatic and excited to see if Gypsy and Kim really are gonna collaborate, because don't you think this would actually be an insane collab? Like, if you put your thoughts on Kim or Gypsy aside, you have an A-list celebrity collaborating with someone like Gypsy. Do you think this would actually help boost sales and grow publicity? I feel like it would be talked about for days because of course the Kardashians are always talked about, plus the current hype on Gypsy's release would just skyrocket in sales. At least from my guess, I have no knowledge on sales, so that's that. Hey producer Chris, would you purchase anything from Skims if Gypsy was sponsoring it?
Yeah, I'd be down.
While Gypsy was in prison, Fancy Marcelli and Tatiana Gisclair, who are family friends of the Blanchards, told In Touch Weekly back in 2021 that Gypsy didn't want the counseling that the prison offers as she didn't feel like she needed help, before adding that she needed better people around her. Fancy even added that Gypsy needed to change her behavior before her release, claiming that Gypsy is not open to it and is still putting on a show for the parole board. Although they want the best for her and appreciate Gypsy wanting to become an advocate, they believe that she still has a long road ahead of her and want her to live a good life, but notice she does need intense help. Tatiana even told In Touch that she knew Dee Dee was a master manipulator, although at the time she didn't have a reason not to believe it. Now looking back, she can clearly see all the lies Dee Dee told. It's always after the situation you're able to look back and see all the red flags. I mean, it's happened to me in obviously less serious situations. Plus, when she spoke to In Touch Weekly, she mentioned how she's able to reconnect with her family, which resulted in her learning new revelations about her childhood that she was previously in the dark about. Plus, she has her own version of her story and everyone else's, so she's trying to piece things as she goes on. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of The Act, but it's a series that is a dramatized version of the true story of Gypsy's life. And Joey King, who has been in movies like The Kissing Booth, The Conjuring, and Ramona and Beezus, plays Gypsy herself. And now that Gypsy's been released, she's actually able to watch the series that's supposed to showcase her life. Blanchard's family friend, Fancy Marcelli, told TMZ that Gypsy doesn't want to enforce the show because of inaccuracies. And these inaccuracies included exaggerating her mother's actions. But Gypsy told Hollywood Reporter that she actually hasn't seen The Act and doesn't know what's inaccurate in those versions of things, but decided to come out and share her story herself. I guess now that she's out of prison, she's able to see how the media portrayed her and her story as she corrects the inaccuracies herself through her upcoming projects. Thank you so much for watching. I'll make sure to see you guys next time. Bye bye.